the Ferris wheel. So first thing you see, I'm in GeoGebra Classic. I'm going to come over here to my triple bars, make sure I am logged in, and then I'm going to click on again, go away. And now I want to take off the axes because they get in the way and can make up issues. So I'm going to come here, click on those little, right here on this triangle and circle, and then I get my options, and I click on show or hide the axes. So now I got my white screen. Always best to start with the blank screen here. And you can click on that again and it'll go away. Now to make the Ferris wheel, we need a circle. So we're going to start with the circle through point. So I can make this as big as I want. Then I'm going to hide point B. So I can do that by right clicking and change show object, or I can come over here to where I see point B and I can hide it right there and it goes away. Now I have my circle, and you can see it'll change size because of point B being hidden, and that's okay. Now with this, I now need to put my 8 points around the circle. So first thing I do is I'm going to put a point on the circles, and you see as I get really close it changes to a finger. That tells me that I'm on the circle. So if I click here, I can now see that the point C. Before I do anything, I want to make sure that point is fixed to the circle. The next part is I'm going to rotate point C 7 more times around the circle. So to do this, I go to my transformation options, and I can see that it's that third to last option says rotate around point. So I'm going to click that, and if I read in the bottom left corner there, you can see it says select object to rotate and center point and then the angle. So I want to rotate point C about point A, so that order matters. And because I'm doing it 8 times total, I'm going to do 45 degrees, and counterclockwise works perfectly fine. And then I'm going to click on the next point, and I'm going to do the same thing here and just keep doing 45 degrees. 45 degrees is how we split 360 degrees equally into 8 pieces. Here, let me messed up that point, so let me delete point D here. Go back here to my option. So I'm going to rotate this point around A 45 degrees. Do that 45 degrees. Do it 45 degrees. I'm going to do it one more time. And there I have my 8 points. And if I look, I can click on any of these points, and you see it does not move the image. The only point that's going to move all 8 of them is point C. That's when they rotate. Okay, so now we have our 8 points. We can go from here. The next thing we need is what's going to be the seat to our shape. So we're going to make a seat, and the easiest way to do that is with a regular polygon. So I'm going to come here, and I can just click make my first segment. If you want to keep it simple with a square, just you can change the vertices. We'll make it a square just for simplicity. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to translate this square onto each of these points. So the translation is done here with the translate by vector. So the way I'm going to do this is it says select the object and then the point. Make your vortex. I'm going to go from G over to C. And you can see there it made my chair. Then I'm going to click on my object, and I'm going to go from G to the next one. And I click on my object, I click on G into the next one. I click on my object, I click on G. Then we'll go to, lost my translations here, so let's go back, translate by vector. So I click on my object, I click on G, go to my next one, I click on G, go to my next one, click on object, G to the next one, object, G to the next one, and then object, G to the last one. Now this looks like a lot going on. So let's go back to our arrow tool for a minute. So if I look here, it will turn as I turn point C. So I just need to hide the parts that are in the way now. I do not delete anything, I just hide them. So first thing, we can click on the object and we can right click on it and change it to show object. So we right click on that H, we're going to right click on G, right click on F, and right click on E. Then we're going to do the same thing for each of these vectors. We do not want the vectors. So you can see here, I even have it, I could just click over here, vector, and then vector. Anywhere I see the word vector, I know I'm going to get rid of it. Or I can, again, click on it and do show object. And my last one here. Now, a few more things to do to clean this up. Now, point C is the only point that we need. Every other point is just kind of in the way. So we're going to hide each of these other points, or at least remove their label. So if you don't want to hide them, you can right click and just turn off the label so that we at least only have the one point that we know that is important. Now I have point C. I know that's the point I'm rotating. And I can see it goes around my Ferris wheel. The other thing, very simple, we're going to build a base to make it look like a Ferris wheel. So we get our base here. Don't have to do anything fancy, but there's our triangular base. Again, we're going to hide this point here, hide this point here, and now we have our standard Ferris wheel. If you want it to turn on its own, what you do is you right click on C and then click animation, and now the Ferris wheel turns without you having to move point C at all.